The fight against insecurity in Nigeria has been at the front burner for a while, as the federal government continues to find a final solution to the problem. Just over the weekend, the senator for Borno South Senatorial District, Ali Ndume, revealed that about 252 attacks carried out by Boko Haram terrorists between November 2024 and April 2025 in Borno led to the death of 100 soldiers and 280 civilians, totaling 380 casualties. Ndume, who spoke with journalists in Abuja, also shared efforts being made by the state political leaders and military authorities to curtail the resurgence of insurgency. He said the military needed MRAP, mine resistance ambush protected vehicles, costing about $1 billion each. I think that should be $1 billion. He denounced the Ministry of Information and National Orientation for Mohammed Idris for faulting his claim on the latest security situation in Borno State. Joining us to discuss the resurgence of Boko Haram after the declaration by the former Chief of Army Staff, Tuko Buratai, that the group has technically been defeated and insecurity across the country is Major General Danjuma Ali Keffi, retired, former General Officer commanding GOC of 1 Division of the Nigerian Army, while Mike Ejiofor, former DSS, will join us later. So welcome to the show. I want you to give suggestions as regards end the insecurity situation, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for having me. Let me begin first of all by wishing all of us a belated Eid Mubarak. We have a situation in the country at present where the vast majority or vast areas of the country are faced with one crisis or the other. And some of these crises have been going on for a very long time. We have what can be described as a forever war, a prolonged war. And you may recall on 28th of May last year, you had me on your show where I stated that the prolonged stay of the military in operations is having a counter effect. It is having a negative effect on their performance. And right now, the situation is just appalling. You have in the northeast, we've seen the resurgence of the Boko Haram terrorist group. We have in the northwest, the ongoing kidnapping banditry that is not abating, albeit there are some successes by the theater command there. Then we have in the north central, look at Plateau, look at Benue, resurgence of the ethnic farmers, headers clashes. Well, let's not forget that the IPOB issue is still ongoing in the southeast. So it's a cocktail of problems that we have in this country. And I think it's about time that they resolve this issue. And the military is doing its level best. Other security agencies also are doing the level best. I commend them. But however, the situation is just not okay. Now, particularly in respect of the Northeast, let me point out that I was a commander in 26th Task Force Brigade, then 2014, 2015. Now you could recall, if you recall, 2014, 2013, 2014, 2015 were terrible days for the operation Zaman Lafiya, which later turned to Lafiya Dole, where a lot of territories were dislodged by the Boko Haram terrorist group. Territory after territory after territory. I was appointed in September of 2014, and I reported there almost immediately in 2014. And at that time, the brigade I commanded, 26th Task Force Brigade, had suffered double dislodgement. They were first dislodged from Goza, which was their base, and then they fell to Bama, where 21 Brigade was, and then later they were jointly dislodged and they fell to Maiduguri. It was at that stage, at that point, that I was posted as the commander, and I moved the 2 brigades to Konduga. I said 2 brigades because the 26th Task Force Brigade, which was my brigade, was seriously depleted. We had lost so much. It was a glorified company, less than 200 men, all ranks, and only 1 battalion there. That was 82 battalion. Then the 21 Armored Brigade, then known as 21 Armored Brigade, had close to 1,000 troops there. So we moved to Konduga and began offensive action. And if you recall, in 2015, just before the general elections, His Excellency, former President Goodluck Jonathan, I believe on the advice of his military commanders, right, had the, let me use the term, mercenary force from South Africa, who came, we call them partners, allies. They helped the troops, particularly from the Adamawa axis, to stabilize the situation.
Okay, Major General, if you can hear me, thank you so much for this historical context. It's very, very valuable in the conversation we're having, especially because we're now trying to fast forward to now. I know you're trying to set the scene as to what happened before, but currently we're hearing shocking reports. The governor of Borno State is saying that they had not seen any attack done by an IED explosive device in over a year. Suddenly, there's a resurgence of that. Over their own estimation is that over 100 soldiers are killed. They're saying the army is doing their best. Over 100 have been lost. What is behind this new spate of terrorism that we're seeing? What is the immediate factor that has caused this current blowout?
Well, if you will allow me, it's good for me to put this in context before I go to the immediate distance, because these things are related, are linked. Now, as I said earlier, in 2013, 2014, and early part of 2015, we lost territories after territories. And it was only Konduga and Maiduguri that largely did not fall. All other territories, all other locations fell. Now, in February 2015, right, General Adeosun, L.A. Adeosun, Lamidi Adeosun was appointed then as the 7th Division commander, and he led some counter-offensive, and that helped to stabilize. Well, at that point, I had left the theater because I was wounded. I had an RPG blast to my right head, and I lost hearing in my right ear. As a matter of fact, well, it earned me my second Purple Heart. I got my first Purple Heart in Liberia. Now, this was the situation there. Now, you recall, there was a series of court-martials arising from soldiers who were accused of abandoning location. What was the reason? Now, the Boko Haram at that time, and I want to really emphasize this point. At that time, Boko Haram came up with a strategy where they largely employed or use economic effort and concentration of force. Now, what they do, they are scattered in various locations. Now, they come together, converge together, and then concentrate force, achieve what they call mass, put pressure on that location, until that location fall. And the Nigerian army particularly, now, our concept of operation, our doctrine, right? We are a defense force, as I've mentioned in the past. We're a defense force, not a security agency. And the kind of wars or situation that we confront is the conventional type. Now, those guys using guerrilla tactics. Now, you see them come there in trickles, short of the objective, converge, achieve critical mass, and put immense pressure on the location until that location fall. And now, because of the way our troops were widely dispersed, right, they did not achieve a critical aspect in the principle of defense, which is mutual support. They were spread thinly and over a wide area. And so they did that location after location. When they capture a location, right, capture the equipment, they use that and put pressure on this thing. Okay. So that was it. And I think this is some of the things happening right now. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we just, thank you, General. We want to bring in Mike Ejiofor, his former DG, Department of State Security Services. Mr. Ejiofor, thank you so much, Director General. Thanks for joining us on the show. We would like for you to talk about the intelligence gathering and how that is supposed to be working in partnership with our military services to thwart these attacks. Not just because I'm a public figure. If I go on social media and say something against someone in government, I'll be picked up within 24 hours, right? The DSS is really good at doing that. But what we want to know is, why aren't we able to have intelligence gathering that can thwart these attacks before they happen? Is it because the DSS is overstretched or there's gaps in intelligence? What's your take on that side? Mr. Ejiofor.
Well, yes, point of correction. I wasn't the DG. I was the state director. So
apologies for that.
Correct that.
Former state director. Thank you for the correction.
Yes.
Note to our yes, certainly.
Yes. Now, intelligence plays a major role in this fight to insurgency, and you know that the personnel of the State Security Service or the State Security Service itself is charged with provision of intelligence to other security agencies. Now, I've said this times without number that we are not lacking in intelligence in terms of supplying to the operations. But I take the case of Plateau State, for instance. I think it has become a major problem to everybody. Because before you solve a problem, you should look at, before you solve a problem, get a solution to the problem, you should be able to identify the causes of that problem. What is happening in Plateau State seems to have overwhelmed everybody. Because one, who are the leaders? They are not known. What are their aims and objectives? Nobody seems. We're all speculating, everybody hazarding guess. The governor will come, it's ethnic cleansing, others will come, it is issue of land and all these things. But I believe too that the State Security Service has a profile of some of these people which should be shared. Commissions of inquiry have been set up. What has happened to those commission of inquiries? What is the outcome of those inquiries? So these are major problems that we should be able to identify what the problem is before we start looking for solutions. So that is the very, very key. Now, if you look at intelligence gathering, people make up, the community provides the intelligence. And if these people, the terrorists, or jihadis, as the governor has classified them, come at night to kill innocent people, it becomes a problem. They operate, and I have not been to this particular area, but I understand it's a mountainous area where these terrorists occupy and come out from that place. Don't also forget that they cannot operate in isolation of some of unpatriotic indigenous of that area. So they cannot just come. It's a major problem that the government has to address. And I think one of the solutions I think we should look at is the issue of first line of defense, which was enumerated by the DGSS during one of our lectures, annual maiden lectures. That's getting the communities involved. Get everybody. I'll give you an example. I didn't quite listen to the general who was talking because of communication problems. But I can tell you that if we get the communities involved, they'll be more committed. A place like Plateau and Benue State, for instance, where we have reserve of retired officers, you get them together, form a pool at the local government level, at the state level, harness all of them, bring them together. They will be able to provide intelligence in conjunction with the State Security Service to fight this cause that is defying every known solution.
Mr. Ejiofor, wait. Is that, okay, you just mentioned communities. I think a good example is the governor of Kaduna State, all right? He introduced a inclusive document to try to bring communities, foster communities and put them together. And I want you to please emphasize that point. You just said local communities, LGAs, and state security services. Whose responsibility is that? Is that at the federal level or at the state level?
Well, I think it has to start, before I go to the different levels, this group of people should be armed, because if you gather them without the necessary arms, they cannot do anything. They should be armed and regulated by the police. Like I said, the professionals who are retired and still active can form the bulk of this group of first line of defense. Because if you say they should just go to that place, and these people running riot come in with sophisticated weapons, it becomes a problem. So if you come to the level of how it could be formed, from the presidency through the NSA, all the governors could be summoned and given the need for all this without political considerations. Give them, let us form at this level, at community level, get the town presidents of town unions, you get local government chairman. At the state level, the governor is supposed to be chief security officer, but he has no control over the security forces. So if we get all these people at the various town, community levels, local government levels, state level, I think we should make some difference. We cannot continue to do the same thing the same way and expect a different result.
Hello, sir.
So we need to try. Yes.
Mr. Ejiofor, I quickly want to talk to you about funding. Where are we going to track the funders of this heinous crime? There's a government agency that's supposed to be doing that, NFRU. Have we done enough to track the funders, where the money is coming from, and to follow the money trail? And what happened to that case of some funders of Boko Haram that were apprehended somewhere in Dubai? What happened to that case till date?
If I remember, I think those people, the funders, I'm not too sure now, but I think they were tried and convicted. I'm not too sure. Maybe we need to cross-check that information. But it goes beyond that. There are still local funders of this group. If you take the case of kidnapping, for instance, people collecting hundreds of millions, 50 million, 10 million, and you see them, they are looking haggard, they are not looking unkempt. So that means there are people behind them that they are giving this money. So it has become a franchise. It's a major problem, and I think government has to take these issues of insecurity. That's not only peculiar to Benue and Plateau. You have cases of kidnapping in the northwest, the issue of IPOB in the southeast, the festering cases of Boko Haram in the northeast, especially Borno, that is upcoming again, this upsurge of this incident. So we need to identify the funders, people behind all these. So I think it's key. You made a point there, and I think our security forces, especially the State Security Service, should work into it. But I believe that they have the information. Only we need to cross-check those information.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, Major General Danjuma, before we go, let's talk about this issue of how those who are captured are actually dealt with. I was reading an interview with Governor Caleb Mutfwang, which is in today's edition of This Day. I urge everybody to go and read it. And he's saying that in most cases, those who are captured are actually released. Those terrorists and criminals who are captured, he says that somebody from above is able to give an instruction, and these guys return back into the forest where they're causing havoc. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience, Major General, of those who are captured and then released back to continue perpetuating these atrocities?
Yeah, thank you very much. And let me refer to the earlier question that you posed to Mr. Ejiofor regarding the terrorism funding and specifically the infamous Dubai 6. As a matter of fact, I was in the thick of it when we realized, that is when the government realized that if you don't address the issue of terrorism funding, if you don't address that, that is the oxygen that gives life to the insurgency, to the terrorism, right? You are just, you'll be wasting your time, literally. Because see what happened. We virtually dissipated Boko Haram. The leader, the poster boy, then Shekau, who is not really the real leader of Boko Haram, died. He committed suicide. Actually, it was all engineered. Now, there was a group that was set up, a task force, the operational service-wide, and I was the commander of that force. And largely, we got intelligence from the NFIU and from other intelligence agencies. I reported directly to the president, the former president at that time, and we got a lot of hints, a lot of help from the United Arab Emirates, that's the Dubai government, regarding the Dubai 6. That was those Nigerians that were some jailed for life, some jailed for 30 years, 10 years, thereabout. And they helped us considerably. And with that, we launched that operation service-wide. It was called service-wide because the military, the Department of State Services, DSS, the NIA, National Intelligence Agency, and the Defense Intelligence Agency were also involved, and I commanded this thing. And we carried out operations. It was a covert as well as overt operation. Covert in the sense that intelligence was used. We captured some of the sponsors, high profile, including the leader of Boko Haram. The leader of Boko Haram, not Shekau. They were detained for, I think, 9 months or thereabout. Every 3 months, then we apply to the court for them to renew their detention orders or detention warrant. And the investigation was going on. And then, curiously, I mean, those were people that were linked to the devices. A key Western government country partnered with us. We were in partnership with about 33 countries, and a key Western country gave us good intelligence, which helped us in our decision. And we picked, you recall, as I said before, the former Attorney General, Minister of Justice,
Major General
Malami, said
Major General Danjuma,
yes.
Thank you so much for your time. Unfortunately, our time is fast spent. Mike Ejiofor, it's always a pleasure to unpack these conversations. We do hope that a lasting solution will be found very soon. Thank you to both gentlemen.